And we're live. Welcome, everybody. I'm here with Jeff. No really certain really topic to talk about. Just figure out how to go live. Just hey, what's up? And I don't know. You see my little trip I did the other day with my daughter? It was quite eventful. It was fun. Like I literally almost tore my car up.
Well, driving it into a chain will do that. It's like a Game of Thrones moment almost.
Yeah, I couldn't see anything at all. The sun was in my eyes. It was crazy. But I went to a lot more places than I showed in that video. I pretty much drove around the whole area. Didn't see a
That's
single
a lot
cop.
different.
Didn't see a single cop the whole time.
Yeah, they're all putting innocent people in jail. It's a busy day.
Well, how you been?
I'm sorry. Did you? How have I been? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I've been good. It's been I've been busy at work. I've been thinking about putting together a little video on Brandon to to talk about the overall theory about how he was just sort of you know a victim of the state's failing case against Stephen, and they just needed the they needed something because they basically had nothing. And when Stephen's bail was coming around, they that's when they put the hardcore press on. Right? So
Well, it's funny when you listen to the jail calls. Like you can hear the family doing the same thing all of us do here in this community, just
yeah,
snowballing things, just trying to figure out what the hell went on because nothing makes sense.
they're basically they laugh at the case.
Yeah.
Right? They got nothing. The evidence doesn't make any sense. They had nothing really that linked Stephen. They had zero forensic evidence except for the rat and the key, which is just so obviously planted because it was found so late that nobody was going to believe it, and the jury ended up not believing it. So what they do, and it's very interesting if you start to look at the date that Dean Strang comes on. If you start to look at the property bond, and they Stephen talks to Alan Avery and Dolores Avery very often about the property bond and how it's going. And you hear how the state is fighting the property bond. They say, "Oh, the land's contaminated. It's not really worth all that." And finally, Dean Strang comes on board. And the same day that he comes on board, he files for bail, and that is he tells Dolores that the Saturday before the Monday that Brendan confesses.
Yep. He's also telling them don't let your boys talk to the cops without a lawyer.
Yeah, he says that.
And what do? They throw Stephen in the hole.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, and there's no calls for Stephen for what three days. I can't remember exactly how many, but it's because they're interrogating Brendan.
And then you got that infamous phone call he gets from Stephen Glenn. When he describes everything that Brendan said that took place. And what is Stephen's response? God damn.
No. Yeah. Yeah. When Stephen is talking to Brendan, to Dolores, and says Brendan saw something in the fire, he literally laughs.
Mm-hmm.
Laughs at it. It's like, what is he talking about? Yep. Right? As if it's funny because it's just not possible. So I think sort of stringing those jail calls together would make an interesting video for, especially a lot of us Brendan supporters who aren't really that intimate with the timeline.
Well, I noticed the guilters, they tend to take little snippets of calls that make Stephen look bad, but you can't do that. You got to listen to it in its entirety.
Yeah. Then there's Joker. Is that she's still breathing? That guy?
Yeah, that'd be one of them. Like I've only probably heard a handful of Brendan calls. That's where they just pop up in my thing. But I'm not going to look for them. But the few calls I have heard, pretty bad. His friends
Yeah,
were pieces of shit.
I've heard that Brendan has requested that people not listen to them, so I've been not listening to them. There probably is something there. I'm not sure, but if Brendan doesn't want to listen to it, I'm gonna respect his wishes. I haven't heard anything about Steven, and I think there's a lot of good situational awareness in Steven's calls. Um, and you can sort of really understand what's going on a day-to-day basis listening to those jail calls, because he lives in the moment. You listen to him talk to the news, and he's talking to the news exactly what he was talking about to Dolores, and he doesn't set context for anything. The news asks him a question. He's like, "Oh, I was down by Chucky's," right? As if anybody in the, who's listening to him on the news is going to know who Chucky is, right? It doesn't set any context for anything.
Nope.
And just talks, which is why they told him to keep off the media. But I can see why he did it, because he just didn't feel like his side of the story was getting out. So he just he felt alone and underrepresented, which is exactly what they were trying to do.
Well, especially when they came out with all them letters from Lori, he wanted to get his side of the story out, because there's always two sides to every story, and media was out to get him.
Yeah, well, he talks to Dolores in code, right, to say, "Oh, go get, these other things. Don't talk about them on this line." But that's obviously what he's talking about from the timeline that it comes out that Dolores found those letters from Lori. So
Steven was using payphones right after they found the RAV. There's a few news reporters track him down, and he's using a payphone. They pull up on him. Then he talks to him.
Yeah.
He talked to everybody. I don't understand why he talked to O'Neill the second time after his lawyer advised him on the 5th, don't talk to nobody no more. And then O'Neill comes back on the 6th, he talks to him again. Then Wiegert and them talks to them.
Yeah,
he's got nothing to hide.
He doesn't listen to his lawyers.
No, that's a fact, because they told him numerous times, stop talking, and then he continues to call the newspapers, write them.
Yeah, Emily Matejcik, and they weren't his friends. A couple of them were.
No, Aaron Keller.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one that stuck. That's why he left Wisconsin as a news reporter and moved down to Florida. He actually became a lawyer right here. Yeah, he's on the Law and Crime Network.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
We should see if he would come on. See if he come on, he could increase his followership by the millions that watch the Millville channel.
You're funny. That's hilarious. No, but going there got me thinking, because I've looked over the flyover and a few news footage videos trying to count how many power poles are there. I can see one here.
Can you go back to the last picture? So you see one down on the. It might be hard to see if you're watching it on your phone or something, but can you put your mouse over that other one? Over the one that's in that picture, which is like in the sort of the bottom middle-ish right.
Yep, it's right across from the pickup truck that's blue.
Yeah, so usually those poles are like every 150 feet or every 300 feet. I don't see another one in that screen to the left of the ones that you see here, and it doesn't appear there for there to be any place for the wires to go. Right, that's Avery Road we're looking at, right?
Correct. This is.
Yeah.
To the left would be south. You're entering the Avery's property or heading down to Barb and Stevens. Opposite direction, this is up is east, right is south, left is north, and down is west. And you can definitely see one right across from the blue car on an angle.
Yeah.
But you really can't see any more.
Yeah.
And this is the small photo on the left is the photo that I took when I was there 3 days ago. And there's 5 poles. And this is a Google map taken from about, I think, last year. And yeah, you can see they're spaced out pretty far.
It's like Street View.
Yep.
Yeah. So the reason why you're interested in phone poles is because you're wondering if they might have obstructed Sawinski on his drive.
No, because that they might have fucked with the ditch.
Oh, when they put in the poles, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
ditch might have been not as steep as it is now.
In order to protect the poles from people who were driving shit faced down the road, so they crashed into the ditch instead of into the poles.
Well,
That's how they would do it, right?
driving down there, my intention was to drive through the field in the exact spot that he claims he did, and using what we see in that flyover of the news where the tracks are in the grass. But
Yeah.
looking at it, if I would have drove really slow, yes, I could have did that. I don't know if there's any rocks down there, so that's another reason I didn't do it. And it's like a V. It's not a gradual grade. It's a V. So if somebody was traveling,
Yep.
like he says he was, he would have
Now
fucked his car up.
is that a culvert right there? Is there? Well, you probably didn't get out steep, but is there like a drainage pipe, and is that to prevent flooding?
No, it's just a little drainage ditch.
It's a ditch. Yeah.
Just a drainage ditch. But
So your point is that right now, as it sits right now, people have said it's too deep for some old shitbox car to have been to have veered off the road and made those tracks.
yeah,
But your hypothesis is the fact that the telephone, when they installed the telephone poles, they might have
Like-
furnished that.
based on the tracks that we see in that video or screenshot from that was on Twitter, the angles he would have flipped. He would have crashed right into the other side of the embankment.
Mm-hmm. And he never said he made that giant circuitous path.
No, he
just said he
swerved
drove
into the ditch.
swerve.
But
Yeah.
how far into the ditch, we don't know. That's why I think that video we see of that tracks in the field, I don't think that's from him.
Yeah, I mean, just that picture that you had up, those tracks in the field going from the corner to the road, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're probably right. I don't if I were somebody who was pushing the RAV, I don't think that I necessarily would have jumped in front of a car, especially if it was trying to gain speed. I probably really would have wanted it to stop and might have given a dirty look, but depending on how fast they were going, I'm not sure I would have had the cojones to jump in front of it, especially if it was picking up speed and starting to swerve.
All right. I should have just loaded the clip I took of just driving down Avery Road, but it's quicker just to load this video.
Yeah, that's customer.
Yep. That looked completely different, even from the last time I was there.
Was that woodpile there? Was that woodpile there during the time?
Yeah, there's always been some sort of wood pile there.
So Straxo just hasn't grabbed it for their fire pit.
You can see it's steep.
Oh yeah.
It's a ditch, a drainage ditch. Yep. But if you look if he said he swerved into the other field on the west side,
very believable.
Yeah. Very possible, 100%, because it's not like it is over there on the other side.
Yeah. And what you say too is that grass that if you look, it's hard to see the fact that they're saying there is a ditch there. It's just that the grass is high. It's kind of obfuscating it from that picture because you can kind of see that the edge of it.
And there's also the shadow too. So KZ puts him about damn near where the fucking light pole is in that picture.
Yeah.
And there's not one over here by the gravel. So if we move the video a little bit forward, so it's probably right. It's probably
wires.
Yeah, there's wires. There's wires.
they're hard to see in that. And you can't string those wires more than 300 feet. You know what I mean?
So he swerved about right here. And anywhere in this area.
He's going the other way from you, though. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find the other video. It might be in my camera still. We will find out. I think it's this one. Yeah, I think this is the one where I go back and turn all the way around and come back. So right around that first pull is where he says he swerved off into the grass.
So are those lines bringing power to the Avery's houses?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Unless the lines go underground, there's got to be another pole somewhere.
Yep. Well, we have all them tags from when they're searching, and you see them stuck in the ground, marking where wires are.
Keep going underground. So it looked like the other pole was sort of to the left.
You see the left side of the ditch, easy peasy. That side, not gonna happen.
Yeah, you can see it in the rearview mirror.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I use my mirror. And we're coming up right where he would have swerved. We just passed the spot. Other side, easy peasy. So, what are y'all thoughts in the chat? No, but KZ has it marked on her map.
Can you read the question?
Yeah, Shane says he never said which side of the ditch, but that is true. But the way people drive are supposed to drive on the right side of the road. I didn't though, because I was trying to get the ditch.
Well, Shane actually makes a good point when you think about it, right? So if they were, well, maybe because if they were
pushing,
I think they were pushing it. They would have been pushing it if you know, not that you need to obey the rules of the road when you sort of stash in a car if you've just murdered its owner. But you might be pushing it at least on the right side of the road. So coming back the other way, you probably wouldn't go around it on the side that they were pushing it on. You'd veer more away from it. So that would put you on the side that you're saying, on the ditch side, right? But if for some reason they were pushing it on the other side of the road.
But he also says I swerved into the ditch. The other side is a cornfield.
There's no ditch.
Ditch, cornfield. So he went into the ditch.
Yeah. See, if I said that, I would mean that probably had a tire on or near the road and was not like in the ditch.
Well, then that would be into the shoulder.
Yeah. Well.
It all depends on how you.
I don't just.
Like different words can mean so many different things for other people. That's the fucked up part.
Yeah. Exactly. He's that's the thing. And if you want to get to the bottom of this evidence, we can have an evidentiary hearing to explore it. Right? It's not that's all the clarity that he needs to suggest that there's something that needs to be evaluated by a judge here.
But I don't know. I'm skeptical.
You're skeptical of the fact that he saw anything, or that
I don't know. It contradicts so many different things.
It does.
Like Siebert, whoever was at Siebert's house, they definitely see me almost fuck my car up.
We get a DCI report.
And you see
Look
me
for
holding a camera too, so.
yeah. Oh, the dog wants to go
Left there, and then I went past Earl's house and went up R back to 147, and then got on the freeway and went home.
Yeah, you had you up on the turnaround too.
Yep.
Did you get a decent shot of the turnaround?
Yeah.
I didn't really see it on the video.
Yep.
I gotta let the dog go.
One moment. Where is it? So many photos. It's somewhere in here. All right, we got this one. Why isn't it working? Technical difficulties, folks. Sorry. I usually have these things preloaded.
So the question we were talking about earlier is Siebert still living? Is he still alive? I thought for some reason I thought he was dead.
I don't know. He may well be, but it was an older gentleman that was outside. He was getting some bags out of the rear passenger driver's side door of his car.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's Irvin Konecki that's dead. I hate to be besmirching people, calling him dead.
Yeah, he's the one that called because the news. Well, Howard Thielen calls because his neighbor Ernest is scared because the news showed up at his house, and then they talked to him. All right, I just gotta make it smaller. I don't know why it keeps doing that. All right.
There's people think that Irvin saw the car at a different turnaround than this one that you're showing, just because
I drove past the other one too.
Maybe we can look at that one.
Well, I just gotta start the video over. Let's see.
Well, let's see Now, which way is the church from here? The church will be down the street the way you're going?
Yeah, you turn right when you get to. Well, you could take. It depends on which way you take. You can take Q to get there. You take Jambo Creek. Okay. Well, Jambo Creek runs into Fisherville, so you'd either have to go east or west. Either go back to Q or go to 147 or B and take that all the way down through Shoto. The quicker way would probably be take Q all the way, or R all the way to 310 and 310 over. Like I believe, well, Teresa, like that lady calls about her with her flashes on, slowing down, and she turned on the R. They didn't ask her which way she turned, but her cell phone ping suggests that she did turn left because she pinged in that area.
Yeah.
But she had that. Well, I don't know. Nothing makes sense.
I would love to see the neighbor list for those cell phones. Each of the towers broadcast something called the neighbor list, and the neighbor list says if you're losing signal, or if you should be looking for signals on these other towers.
This is R, right here.
Yeah.
She was spotted in this location, turning.
Yep.
So, and R goes south and north, and it runs parallel with the freeway for a little bit. And up here on the left, before the bridge, is the other turnaround you were just referencing. It's going to be... And I've also been told by locals that live out there that a lot of cops like to sit here. It's like a speed trap for them.
Yeah.
It's coming up on the left. You're gonna see the two little ditches or entrances on the left. I'll pause it when we get right by it. Yeah, right here. Cops like to sit right here.
On the left-hand side?
Yep, where that car just drove
A
past.
little driveway. Yeah.
Now, when the turkey hunter's calling about the guy and the waders in the river, he first calls Manitowoc County and tells them that he's seen a guy in the river with waders on, and there was a pickup truck parked on the west side of the bridge. And then when he gets transferred to Calumet County, he now tells them the opposite thing he just told the person on the phone before. Now it's on the south side of the road and on the east side of the bridge. So, yeah.
Maybe he got turned around.
But before they put this extended rail in here, there used to be a little trail that goes down towards the river. There's the entrance to it right here. There's a little parking spot. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming he either seen somebody parked off this side or that side or the opposite side of the river. So don't really know.
Yeah, people who like who are fans of the German think that's where they saw the car because that's on the way to the Germans.
Mm-hmm. Where the German used to live. His house is no longer there. They tore it down and they're building a gas station, I think.
I think that the land, like a cheese factory, I heard. They like bulldoze all the buildings that come down on his property.
Yep. Sargento cheese or some shit. I don't know.
He's a good one. We haven't talked about him in a while. So we should get somebody who knows about him to come on and tell us about that theory at some point.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Keep this a short one, but we'll see you guys next Thursday, same time, same channel. Have a good night.
Maybe we'll have some talk about. Maybe we'll put those videos together for you.
Yep. But yeah, have a good night, and we'll see you next time.